Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are taking on one of the most stressful and I think universal experiences of modern life, the paycheck paradox.
You know this feeling. The notification pops up, the direct deposit has cleared, and for a beautiful, fleeting moment, the weight just lifts.
Oh, absolutely.
You open your banking app, you see that number, and you feel, truly solvent.
You're planning the next 3 months in your head. Maybe you'll finally buy that thing you've been wanting, but then it's like magic reality sets in.
The rent, the utilities, the car insurance.
And the money just vanishes. By like the middle of the following week, you're back to wondering why saving feels like trying to catch water with a sieve.
Well, our listener asked that exact question. Why does the money disappear, and why does building wealth feel so impossible? And the answer, according to the research we analyzed, isn't a lack of discipline.
Okay, so it's not that I'm just bad with money.
Not necessarily. The source is pretty clear that most people are simply doing everything backwards. They're treating their income like a suggestion, hoping some money remains, instead of treating it as a strategic resource.
So our mission today is to flip that script. We're exploring a simple but really potent financial framework that demands a complete rewiring of your habits. It's centered around a concept from the world of productivity.
Yeah, we're talking about eating the frog on payday.
Eating the frog.
It's a great analogy for anyone who's not familiar. It comes from Brian Tracy's work on productivity. The frog is that ugliest, most intimidating, but most important task that you absolutely dread and you put off.
Okay.
Applied to finance, the frog is the one essential action most people neglect, but it's the absolute key to financial freedom. The frog is paying yourself first.
All right, let's unpack that backwards approach our sources describe. Because if you're like most people, when that paycheck hits, you immediately start servicing the demands of everyone else.
Exactly. You pay rent, you buy food, you fill the tank, you pay the minimums on your debt.
And only then do you look around and try to scrape together whatever is left over to put into savings.
And here's the unavoidable mathematical reality from, behavioral economics. If you wait to save what's left over, there will never be anything left over.
It's the cruelest trick.
It's not a trick, it's human nature. Meeting something called Parkinson's Law expenses will magically expand to consume every single dollar you earn.
So if you get a raise, you just spend more.
You just spend more. The rich, the people who build generational wealth, they flip this script completely. They eat the frog the moment income arrives. They treat their future selves, their investment accounts, as their absolute priority. They pay themselves first.
The second that transfer is complete, they are then forced to adjust their remaining spending. The sources are so clear on this, the frog doesn't get easier to swallow if you wait.
No, it just gets bigger and uglier because every dollar you delay saving it's lost compounding returns.
And this brings us to what you have to do first, which is radical honesty. To make this system work, you have to stop treating necessities and wants as equals.
Yeah, one of the sources calls the failure to distinguish between these two financial suicide.
That's a strong term, financial suicide. Why is treating a luxury like a necessity so destructive?
Because it just maximizes the debt spiral. If you categorize, say, premium cable or frequent meal delivery or a gym membership you never use as a necessity,
Right.
you're forcing yourself into a state of perpetual scarcity. You end up borrowing on a high-interest credit card to afford a lifestyle you can't actually sustain.
So we have to define what's truly essential. That's housing, food, utilities, healthcare, and basic transportation. That's really the list.
That's the list. And the sources provide a brutally honest target. Your true necessities should consume no more than 60% of your take-home pay.
60%.
60%. And if that number sounds impossible, you have just located the source of your financial anxiety. The reality is simple. If your absolute necessities are consuming more than 60%, the problem isn't your savings discipline.
It's a lifestyle problem.
It's a fundamental lifestyle misalignment.
Okay, but I have to push back on this because 60% feels completely unachievable for someone trying to live in a major city, like New York or London. Does the source material offer any wiggle room? Or is this rule just mathematically rigid?
It's mathematically rigid for the goal of building wealth. The research is clear. If necessities top 60%, there just isn't enough financial breathing room to invest, save an emergency fund, and aggressively pay down debt all at the same time.
So if the math doesn't work,
Then the solution has to be in the lifestyle. Getting a roommate, moving to a cheaper suburb, trading down the car. The number is the number, and it forces a choice.
the constraint forces the strategy. I get it. So let's detail the physical action of eating the frog. We've accepted the 60% reality. How do we actually execute this pay yourself first strategy?
The moment that money hits your account, the very first transaction, and I mean the very first, is a transfer. It goes to your investment account or your long-term savings fund before any bill gets paid.
And that leads to a necessary behavior change, right? This idea of conscious spending.
Oh, absolutely. The know where every dollar goes rule.
Yeah.
You can't solve a problem you haven't quantified. Most people have, a vague idea of what they spend.
A ballpark.
That ballpark idea is the enemy. You have to know exactly where your money is going,
Mm.
and that means tracking.
Tracking. Does that mean I have to log every single coffee forever? Because that sounds miserable.
No, not forever. It means reviewing the last 3 months of your bank and credit card statements and just categorizing everything. You're hunting for unconscious spending.
Unconscious spending. Give me an example.
That subscription creep. The free trial you forgot to cancel, the $12 streaming service you barely watch.
Or the software you bought for a hobby 6 months ago.
Exactly. That, plus the daily $5 leak from coffee or an impulse lunch. These are small things, but they're leaks in the financial dam. And when you track it, those leaks become really visible.
Okay, so let's use the financial scenario from the source. Imagine a $4,000 take-home income. In the traditional scenario, that money hits, and you spend freely until you realize you only have, maybe $200 left for savings.
Now, in the flip scenario, you eat the frog. You immediately transfer $800, that's 20% of your income, into your investment and savings accounts. Your $4,000 income just became a $3,200 income for the month.
This forces the issue. You are now structurally constrained. You have to question those expensive habits. That $1,400 apartment isn't just expensive anymore, it's crushing your remaining budget.
That forced prioritization is the key psychological shift. You're no longer trying to find money to save, you're challenging your spending to make sure you have enough left for bills after you've paid yourself.
Okay, so once that core habit is established, we move into the formal sequence for managing money. It's not just a list of things to do, it's an order of operations.
Exactly. And the second critical step is staying current on all debt payments. Notice we didn't say aggressively paying off debt yet.
Not yet.
Just paying the minimum on time every single time. Protecting your credit score is the absolute bedrock of your financial life.
And the temptation here, especially when you're trying to save aggressively, is to maybe skip a minimum payment or pay late just to boost your savings rate. The sources warn this is catastrophic.
It is. A poor credit score costs you thousands over your lifetime. It increases the interest rate on your mortgage, your car loan, even your insurance rates. Maintaining perfect credit is non-negotiable.
So once that foundation is secure, you've paid yourself first, you've protected your credit. What's the critical bulwark against disaster?
That brings us to step 3, building your emergency fund. And we need to be crystal clear about what this is for. It is not fun money. It is not for a lavish Christmas. It is for true emergencies. Job loss, a sudden medical crisis, or an essential car repair that keeps you from earning income.
And what are the requirements? It needs to be boring and accessible.
It needs to be boringly accessible. We're talking 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. That 60% number again, sitting in a high-yield savings account.
Why a high-yield savings account, and why does it have to be liquid?
It's simple. HYSA offers a better return than a standard bank account, but it's not invested in the market. Liquidity means you can get the cash tomorrow without penalty or risk.
So you don't want your emergency fund in stocks?
Absolutely not. If the market crashes right when your water heater breaks, you're forced to sell at a loss. The emergency fund's job is to sit there, liquid, so that when life happens, you break the cycle of debt.
And that's the real magic of it. Without the fund, an unexpected $800 car repair immediately becomes a credit card charge at 24% APR.
And you're spiraling back into debt.
With the fund, it's just an inconvenience. You write a check, you replenish the fund, and your wealth-building trajectory stays intact.
It separates the financial survivors from the people who actually thrive.
Okay, we've laid the foundations. Now we move into the exciting part, investing. Step 4, retirement. And the source material is brutally frank here. This is not optional, whether you're 22 or 52.
The most expensive excuse in personal finance is, I'll start investing when I'm older. We just have to destroy that excuse with the power of compound interest. Time is literally more valuable than money.
Let's run the numbers from the source. Say you put away just $100 a month starting at age 25, assuming a pretty conservative 7% annual return, you'll end up with over $260,000 by age 65.
Now look at the difference if you wait just 1 decade. You start at age 35, same $100 a month. By 65, you'll only have about $130,000.
You lost half your wealth.
By delaying 10 years, you literally threw away half your retirement. The conclusion is inescapable. The only thing you can't buy back is time.
Which brings us to the concept of free money, the employer match.
If your company offers a retirement match and you are not contributing enough to maximize it, you are declining a guaranteed raise.
It's not investment advice. It's just accepting free money.
It is a 100% return on your contribution, instantly.
Let's make this concrete. Say you earn $50,000 a year. Your employer matches up to 3%. If you ignore that, you're walking away from $1,500 every single year.
And over 30 years, that ignored money, compounded, grows to nearly $300,000.
Yeah.
That's the cost of thinking you couldn't afford to invest.
The irony is most people spend more than that on forgotten subscriptions and takeout coffee, the stuff we talked about.
Exactly. So what's the target? The sources recommend directing 10% of your gross income toward retirement, and that includes the employer match.
And the best part is keeping the investing process simple.
Brutally simple. For the vast majority of people, the most financially brilliant thing you can do is be completely boring. You don't need to beat the market, you just need to participate in it. Buy broad market index funds.
Index funds. Why are they so much better for the average person than trying to pick individual stocks?
Two main reasons. First is diversification. When you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you instantly own a small piece of 500 different American companies. If one fails, it barely affects you.
And the second reason?
Cost. Index funds have incredibly low fees. The actively managed funds, where experts try to pick winners, they rarely beat the S&P 500 over the long term, and they charge you higher fees for failing to do it.
Right, and the S&P 500 has averaged around 10% annual returns over the last 90 years, including every crisis imaginable.
Yeah. Buy the boring fund, set up the automated transfer, and go live your life. Time is your ally. Complexity is your enemy.
Okay, so once retirement is funded, we move to the final major step. Step 5, attacking non-mortgage debt with real intent.
This is where you bring the fury. You're tired of paying 20% interest to someone else. The key warning here is just don't overcomplicate the strategy. Pick one approach and stick with it.
The sources outline the two primary methods. First, the debt snowball. You pay minimums on everything, but you throw all your extra cash at the smallest balance first.
The benefit there is psychological. You get these quick wins, which gives you the motivation to keep going.
The second is the debt avalanche. Still paying minimums on everything, but you focus all your extra money on the debt with the highest interest rate first, no matter the balance size.
And the avalanche is mathematically superior. It saves you more money over time. For, say, $10,000 of typical consumer debt, the avalanche often saves you hundreds or even thousands of dollars in interest compared to the snowball.
So the critical rule here, supported by the data, is not which method you pick.
No, it's that you execute it relentlessly. Most people fail because they constantly switch strategies or get distracted.
And once that debt is gone, you enter the maintenance phase. This is where lifestyle inflation can kill all your momentum.
Oh, absolutely. You get a $5,000 raise, and suddenly you have a new $5,000 bill, a nicer apartment, or a more expensive car. The research has a great rule for this.
The 502-525 rule.
Right. For any new income, 50% of it should immediately increase your savings and investment rate. 25% goes to accelerating debt payoff, if you still have it.
And only the remaining 25% can be used for lifestyle improvements.
It locks in the majority of your raise for future wealth. And the final piece of maintenance is redirection. When a debt is paid off, that monthly payment doesn't just disappear.
Right. If you were paying $300 a month on a car, you now redirect that $300.
Either to the next debt in your snowball or avalanche, or directly into your investments. Every single dollar needs a job. The payment doesn't vanish. Its job description just changes from servicing debt to building wealth.
So let's bring this full circle for you, the listener. The system is fundamentally simple. Pay yourself first, consciously track every dollar, protect your credit, build reserves, invest, and eliminate high-interest debt.
It's not revolutionary, but it's a specific sequence that guarantees eventual wealth building. And we have to address the mindset shift here. Many people hear this and think it sounds restrictive, like you're taking all the joy out of life.
But it's the opposite, isn't it?
It's the opposite. When you've paid yourself first, covered your bills, and you have a budget for discretionary spending, you can spend that money completely guilt-free.
You're not secretly undermining your future every time you buy a coffee.
You move from a state of anxiety and scarcity to one of empowerment.
When you continually wait until the end of the month to see what's left over, you become what the source material calls a financial procrastinator.
And that procrastination is just always waiting for the perfect moment, the big raise, being debt-free before you start saving. But that perfect moment never arrives because the underlying habits are never addressed. You spend your life waiting for permission to build wealth.
The frog tastes terrible going down, but the long-term taste of financial freedom is pretty sweet on the other side. So consider this. Which single habit, unconscious spending, or intentional saving are you going to stop procrastinating on tomorrow?